Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of What the Hell We Did. Anecdotally, we'll live in the upside down. I'm your host, Jay Fry, and with me is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
Yeah, fair to middling.
Fair to middling. And Garrick?
So.
Good.
Fairly so.
Thanks for the dead air, bro. Way to respond in a timely manner. I'm putting that on your annual review.
What are you talking about? I just responded.
Are you doing the Comic Tron 2000? Sean?
What's that?
Were you doing the Comic Tron 2000?
Oh, yes, I was actually. Good on you for getting that really freaking obscure reference.
Oh yeah. Obscure's my thing. That and Vietnamese midget porn.
Good to know, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah. We did lose two of the greats this week, Prince Philip and DMX. So
yeah,
Betty White still kicking. So what do we have to talk about this week? On YouTube, unlike a certain other podcast I know, fucking guys.
Yeah, I only ended up catching about half of the show because that.
Yeah. I couldn't comment too much, but when I did, it was like, oh, no wrench. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was at. I was like, I can't ban these fuckers.
Which is disturbing. So we got plenty of little bullshits to talk about.
And one great mystery I need help with.
Wow, what's that?
Figuring out who the fuck I'm thinking of.
I'm telling you, it's Gary Busey.
Not Gary Busey?
Yeah, you're going to find out. Have you looked up Gary Busey?
Yes. My God.
All right. Have you looked up Jake Busey? I swear to God, if you find out it's a YouTuber, I'm going to be pissed.
Jake's not a
Who's that guy with the big teeth that does all the list videos? That guy. He's bald, big teeth, fucking insufferable. That guy. Axe not gonna give it to me now, and I don't know who's But between him and Stuart Townsend, Aaliyah's killing off all our co-stars from Beyond the Grave. So you better watch out, Stuart Townsend. So what do we have on the agenda? We got perpetuating the continuation of the Matt Gaetz bullshit, which is becoming more bullshit and less anything else. Though Liz Cheney's having her field day. Speaking of lesbians, there Dwayne Wright was shot, or Duane Dante. That's it. Dwante Wright was shot by apparently a senior member of the Minnesotan. That particular was it Minneapolis? Isn't that where all the shit's going down?
Yes.
Police department who couldn't tell the difference between her pistol and her taser, which is understandable. They were talking earlier about last and capture, which is like lost and least. I mean, anyway, this this deep and thorough psychological bullshit explanation for bitch didn't train enough. But
there's a reason you wear your taser on your left side and your sidearm on your right side.
Well, no longer. That's most police departments have now moved the taser off the belt and onto. Well, it's still on your opposing side. Your dominant side is your pistol, but now on your vest in a cross draw position is your taser.
That makes even more sense.
Yeah. So getting it off the belt, but it's still a training issue. If you're not, your muscle memory is a strong indicator. Not indicator, but instinct.
Reality.
Not even instinct. Yeah, reality.
It's a reality. Yeah, you're gonna do what you're trained to do.
There are documented cases of getting into police officers getting into fights, pulling their pistol, losing their pistol in the fight, and then doing a set standard of moves. Moving the gun from your body, grasping the wrist and the gun, twisting, pulling the gun from the person who had the gun, pointing it at them, and then because of the training, the muscle memory situation, they then hand the gun over back to the guy that they just took it from, because muscle memory training isn't selective. They had to change the training that was being utilized to, instead of doing it 10 times in a row, you do it one time. And then you are now the assailant with the gun, and the cop takes it from you. And then you take it from him, but instead of doing 10 times in a row, where you take the gun and then you end up handing the gun back to the in this case, the bad guy or your practice partner, you now point the gun at the person, and then they take it from you.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, because muscle memory, it's a thing.
Well, I think that they should do that and then have the gun drawn on whoever they took it from for 5-10 seconds, and then de-escalate, reholster, and then somebody else gets a turn. Because otherwise, all that's going to do is train them to allow whoever's going to, the assailant, to engage and take the gun, and they're not going to fire it.
Yeah. I mean, they don't reholster per se, but yeah. And you wouldn't in that situation either. You shoot the person. Because you don't draw your gun to threaten them. You draw your gun to shoot them.
Cops always draw their gun to threaten.
No, it's a low ready. It's a position. Only for cops, though. You can't do it as a civilian. Dude, that pissed me off so bad. The Boston bombing, with those cops just pointing guns in every direction. Mm-hmm. Like literally pointing guns at the homes of people. There was a guy upstairs with a video camera recording it. Cops pointed guns at it. I'm like, no, sir. That's getting shot in my neck of the woods. And I'll do it.
Yeah, especially if you're in your home.
Mm-hmm.
You pointed a gun at me. You pointed a gun at me. You die.
But did you hear about this Virginia lieutenant reservist who was a corpsman who got into an interaction with police because they couldn't see his new. He had just bought this car, and it had a temporary plate in the back window, which is illegal to do if you have tinted windows. Like literally, you have to have a license plate on your car. A temporary tag is illegal. It's not legal to have a temporary tag.
Where?
It's anywhere.
It's legal here.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. They put them in the plate carrier. But that they are, until you get your actual state license, it is allowed to have the tag in the license plate frame.
No, it's just a grace period. It's not allowed. It's understood that people have situations like, I have a car, I drop it off, sell it to the people, they sell me a new car. I have to get that car to the DMV. They give you 2 weeks, but no, that's not legal.
Well, here they've taken to swap. If you're trading in a car, you take the plate with you. The plate just goes on the new car. That's how they do it here now. But before they instituted
Also
that,
illegal.
no, it's not, because the plate is tied to the driver, not necessarily the car.
The plate is tied to a VIN number of the vehicle.
It is in the DMV record, but here it belongs to the owner of said vehicle. So you can, if you've traded in your car, when they run that plate and realize that's the wrong car for that plate and pull you over, which they will, you get to go, yeah, officer, I just bought this car. Here's the temporary tag. And usually the temporary tag is also visible in the window. Again, if you have tinted windows, that's an issue. But normally it's there in the window. And you just say, yeah.
And the cops will let you go because a judge will let you go. It's still a crime. It's not a moving violation. Literal crime.
I don't think it's criminal. I mean, it's criminal if the sale isn't a thing. That was what makes it criminal, because you can't take a plate off a car and put it on another car. That's a crime. But because of the sale, and I'm telling you, if you read the legalese in the frickin' code, it's not a crime.
Maybe your code, but in Michigan and Tennessee, there is no exception for it. You cannot drive an unregistered vehicle. And those are unregistered vehicles. A brand new vehicle that you bought, a not new to you vehicle that you just purchased, is unregistered.
Your laws
so
have
you
a loophole,
have
then.
It's not a loophole. It's just it's an understanding that everyone lets slide.
Okay.
But yeah, still technically illegal. But they do that with all sorts of things. Like, you're not allowed to drive with a gun in your car. Oh, unless you're going to the range, or unless you're going to here, or unless you're going. Yeah. So, which is it?
That seems like
stop at 7-Eleven before I go to the range?
That's an infringement.
Mm-hmm. But states have those.
I understand. I think they're all unconstitutional, but it is an infringement.
Mm-hmm. It is an infringement. Not in Tennessee. Well, on July 1st, anyway. But Tennessee is doing their damnedest to make everything legal.
Well, if you have constitutional carry, you just put it on your person and you're done.
Yeah, but welcome back, buddy. But what we do have is we have castle doctrine extended to the vehicle.
So you can shoot carjackers?
Yeah.
Sweet.
It means you can carry a rifle in your car. Because it can be defended as if it's your home.
I don't understand not being able to carry a rifle in your car.
Well, in Michigan, you cannot have access to both your rifle and your ammunition. So one of those has to be out of arm's reach.
Even the stuff in the gun?
There's nothing in the gun in Michigan.
What?
Yeah, you can't transport a loaded rifle in Michigan.
That's fucking retarded.
Oh, unless you're a police officer, then you can have the goddamn thing locked in the front next to your fucking leg.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But yeah, so that's still illegal. There is no exception for that. It's just waived. There's a lot of little things like that all over the place.
It's just so that they can get you if they want to get you, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's like, in Michigan, you have to have 3 lights on your license plate. And most cars don't come with. There's 2 on the sides, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Most cars don't come with 3. And to me, that law should never have been passed. Lawmakers should have gone out to their own vehicle and gone, "We only got 1." But that's a gotcha law. Hanging anything from your rearview mirror is like universally illegal. Even though they make things to hang from your... I prefer air fresheners from the vents, personally.
I like the little cardboard ones that are super strong to go under the seat.
Yeah, those are good ones too. But I prefer the air vents because that's kind of on-demand air freshening. Besides, for the little they kick out, you can just put some wind behind it and get a lot more.
Yeah.
So if you're farting with your girlfriend, you're like, "It's a little warm in here, isn't it?" Or you can try the window method, whatever it is. But yeah, there's all sorts of things like that. It's common courtesy, is all it is.
You can't hang so you can't hang anything from the rearview mirror, but you could fill your windshield full of those suction cup things to hold cell phones.
Not like your driver's side, but yeah. But you shouldn't be using those things anyways inside your vehicle.
Well, I don't like the suction cup thingies anyway. I'd much rather like take a bendy arm one and twist it around to where I want it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just...
I mean, headphones in a car is sometimes illegal. Never mind the fact that homeboy Duante, god damn it, was on the phone, on a cell phone, with his mom the whole time. Not a Bluetooth hands-free device, fucking cell phone. Like, any car past the induction of cell phones has cell phone technology, and
what's interesting is that there's a bit of a kerfuffle here with the ham radio community about whether or not it's legal to operate your ham radio while you're driving.
Yes, it is. Changing channels, maybe not. But the study behind and the reason for these laws is the same reason behind distracted driving and driving while intoxicated. It is worse for you to dial a cell phone while driving than to drive impaired.
True.
You are...
Especially now that nobody has tactile buttons on their frickin' cell phones anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, for me, you press the mic and you say, call slave driver, and my phone rings at work.
Yeah,
but
I'm too lazy to program mine to do that.
I have one day I was bored and I gave everybody personal rings. Spent hours downloading shit. PR is a toilet flushing, so I'm just dying for them to catch me with that one. Raggle's here. He's just not talking. Say hi, Raggle.
Hey, everybody.
That fucking delay. It's not like you're muted, which would be nice.
Why are... Yeah, and you're cutting out, too.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that's better. I mean, it sounds shittier, but it actually responds better.
That's shittier, but it's like Discord with their hands-free button pushing, and it starts picking up after the first word. That's what it is.
Push to talk is superior.
Yeah, just for picking up the entirety of the conversation. But yeah. So yeah, there's tons of stuff that is and isn't on the books and can be given away. Like there is no exemption for pregnant women with seatbelt laws. In most states. They're probably California's got 7 because they get paid by the law apparently in California. Paid per law, not by the law, because they break the law all the goddamn time. But pregnant women will not wear a seatbelt past a certain period in their pregnancy for their own worries and fears. And I wouldn't be the cop writing a ticket for it. So anyways, this asshole gets pulled over. He's a lieutenant, and doesn't instantly pull over when the lights come on. Drives 1.5 miles, becoming felony invasion. Like, you can pull into a police, like, as a female, you can pull into a police department after calling 911 and telling them that's what you're doing, and they usually let it slide. But both 7 exemptions for the 7 pregnant women. But the
the 8th one is fucked.
and so's the 8th exemption. Hold on. Bless me. Screw you guys. But he drove a 1.5 miles to a gas station and pulled over. Stuck his hands out the window because he was ordered to show hands. Creating felony evasion. Because anything over 1 mile is just excessive. Unless you're on a highway that doesn't have exits every mile. I think pretty much any cop would be appreciative of you pulling off the highway onto a side street for their safety, officer safety. But just dude keeps driving, and he finally pulls over, and he now created a situation for himself that had escalated from just not having a license plate visible, which again is a goddamn crime. There's a whole reason that the thing is put where it is, so that police can see it, not underneath your tinted window, which is also a crime in Virginia.
That's a dumb crime.
Yes. Officer safety, though.
Don't care. Tired of that fucking excuse. They willfully signed up for a dangerous job and they fucking knew it when they did. And I'm tired of hearing about officer safety. Not that it's not important, but it doesn't get to trump fucking everything.
Are you done?
For now.
I mean, I can wait for you to just declare your sovereign citizenhood and fucking... My house is a sanctuary state.
Well, I didn't even...
Sovereign state.
You weren't here for my tirade on how the guys in favor of the Boogaloo are going to have to get right with shooting cops first, because before you get to go fight the fucking dumbass leftists, the cops will be in your way, and you're going to have to go through them first.
And everywhere except when the leftists are attacking you, from all videos I've seen this year. They were literally... Did you see the video of the... What was it, like, the event like 2-3 weeks ago? And the cops didn't do anything to these cars getting bashed on the street and paint being thrown and them being stopped until the guy pulls his gun on the lefties.
Mm-hmm.
And which he gets let go of completely. Like, because he was not in the wrong. There was nothing... he didn't violate anything there. But yeah, absolute bullshit.
I agree.
That's why when Tennessee passes stuff like... what's the name of the... Anyway, if you are on the highway and it is not safe for you to switch lanes, you are obligated to hit the person in the road. It is your duty to not cause multiple car traffic accidents that could kill dozens of people and to hit the one person. which is like the opposite of like a good Samaritan law, if you ask me. That's like a bad Samaritan law.
It's literally the what do they call that? The trolley car dilemma, where if you have control of the switch and you can see one person is going to die, or you can derail and go into 3 or 4 people.
That's usually like your family, though. Like, do you run over one family member, or do you derail, possibly killing the 3 other family members? In my family, we talked about it, and we're in agreement. We cannot live with sitting there and killing one. So we would take it into our own hands to attempt to derail the trolley. And I'm fine with that. While being the one, like if I was on the railroad tracks, I'd want them to hit me so they survived. I couldn't live with being the one to be like, yeah, we'll roll the bitch over.
Right.
So my uncle, on the other hand, he doesn't want to get run over. And I'm like, well, then don't get fucking tied to train tracks, you dick. But you better not drive over anybody on the train tracks.
Well, I mean, a car can go left and right, so that's always an option.
Mm-hmm. Or just stop. Also an option.
Which is, I mean, argument number 1 against fucking rail traffic.
But
accidents that cannot be avoided at all. Yeah, the accidents are going to happen, and they're going to be catastrophic because there's only one way that can go.
Okay. There, in my family, as of today, there are exactly 0 in-laws. Which, I've got a brother who's engaged, but no one in my family is married.
Okay.
I realized that like the other day, and well, my grandma, her husband died. My aunt, who was married since she was 18, her husband died. Both my uncles are divorced. My other aunt never got married. My oldest brother is multiple divorcee, and I'm divorced. My little brother, who has not yet gotten married, is currently engaged. But like, so yeah, we have there is no in-laws in my family.
Can't see the warning signs, huh?
Wow.
I'm just calling it like I see it.
Oh, Drake chocolate bar, son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, I'm not disappointed that I am married, but I don't think I'd do it again.
I was gonna say, like, you took a lot of shit for an orphan with kids.
Fair.
I think that's different. Like, Mike always does the dislike.
That's how we know he's here.
If you go back, I've got one dislike on like 150 videos. Oh God, I've been doing this for so long. This is really bad to have like a 4-year record of making videos and to have a max 5 people in the stream. Talk about not learning from something.
Yeah, no kidding. I think we've topped out at 12 once.
Yeah.
And that might have been when Blonde was on.
Yeah. Oh no, I've done 30s and 40s with Matt or Blonde or Sinatra Says and Hayden Paladin. There was a fuck ton in here for that. Oddly, Bryden brings in a lot of people when I yell at him for however amount of time I do. I have something in the works with him, but I always have something in the works with him that never comes to fruition. So I'm not planning on it because I do read the tea leaves and can in fact match patterns and whatnot. We almost had something going with
Neo?
No, well, no, I had to send him something earlier, but no, we did have Neo on.
We should. It's been I think it's been almost a year since we've talked.
Well, he just did something earlier today.
Obviously.
But yeah, I did want to invite him back. But no, it's going to be Matt Sinatra. Well, Sinatra says. Big Mikey, Bryden, and I doing film reviews. But we didn't have days that were. This is before Sinatra had his Tucker Carlson stream or whatever.
Sinatra seems to be doing all right for himself.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's demonetized, but he's got as many followers as Matt.
Well,
he has like 4 channels, and like they're all demonetized now.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's not how he makes his money. I mean, we're demonetized.
Yeah, and I work a fucking full-time job. That's how I make my money. I do this once a week, and I don't even plan it. You're lucky we're not even talking about the movies I watched this week.
We'll get there, I'm sure. We always do.
We will. Because my girlfriend pointed out something to me that blew my mind earlier that it just wasn't something I thought about.
Well, I mean, I also watched something over the weekend that blew my mind, so we'll talk about it.
Oh, God, I want to do that now.
No, we got to get through the news and shit.
I want to do that now. All right. So he was shot, and they thought it was a taser. Bad. That's it's not good. But it's by far not the first time that's happened. Do you remember what was that bus in it was the Smart Bus in LA, and they shot the guy like right in the chest. And he thought it was a new cop, which means failure of training. But he thought he had pulled his taser, and he just shot the guy with 3 other cops on the dude. 2015.
I mean, that vaguely rings a bell, but I don't remember any of the specifics.
Oh yeah, that was a brutal one. Anyway, he ended up getting acquitted of murder charges for that back then, thankfully.
Well, because cop.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, you lose my sympathy when you run. A cop has a job to do, and it's a dangerous job. Blah, blah, fucking blah, don't care. When you increase anybody's adrenaline to the max by making it a fight or flight situation, unexpected things are going to happen that training cannot account for. I spent 2 years in martial arts. It was a karate martial arts, mind you. And I could high kick with there was chopping I could do. And I got punched in the face, and I tackled the dude. There is no tackling in karate.
All fights end on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Which is the end of my karate, by the way. And I moved over to submission wrestling. Like, well, I'm doing this for dietary reasons. Apparently, I'm not going to defend myself with karate. So it wasn't karate, it was taekwondo. I just like saying karate.
Karate?
It was Bart, that's what it was.
Yeah, well, I hope that I never have to ride Bart. I'll just leave it at that. Doesn't have a good reputation, Bart.
Well, yeah. But Bart's a smart, whatever it is. How do you get the scent?
The what?
Says on your phone, press and hold the question mark on the laptop. I copy and paste it. How do you get the scent symbol? It's on your
you have to go to the alternate.
It's not on your cell phone.
Go to symbols.
On a cell phone?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not there.
I don't know if you get a cent sign or not, but you might have to do the dollar representation and do decimals.
Yeah, that's what I've had to do. But I had a really fucking funny comment with, and it was a cent number for some reason. but
Maybe
I
it's
had to do a
long
dollar
hold
sign.
on something.
No, I was hunting around for it. But yeah, it wasn't there, so it's not there. But wrestling has its own downside, which is if he's got any friends, you're getting kicked in the head. So the submission wrestling was mixed with Muay Thai kickboxing for a stand-up game and a ground game. And that was actually a big thing in mixed martial arts at the beginning, was either Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai and hybrid submission wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Press and hold the dollar sign, you boomer. I will accept the boomer reference if this works. Otherwise, you're going to big fuck you and a bitter timeout. So I'm in chat with my friends here, and here's the dollar sign. Okay, it's obviously not the dollar sign, so go into the symbols. Dollar sign. There is nothing. Nope. I don't know what this symbol is, but this is the other symbol. Anybody know what this is?
Yeah, because we can see that.
I just fucking text you.
What? I gotta look at my phone? God damn it.
That's my other option. There's a capital S, the dollar sign, and whatever the fuck that is.
Oh, that's an S set. That's the German for double S's.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I press the ampersand. Nope, just J and ampersand.
Let me check my phone. Let me see here. Doop.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, long press of the dollar sign doesn't do a damn thing.
This is why.
Do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android?
I have an Android.
Yeah, I do too. And fuck the iPhone.
Yeah, fuck the iPhone. Yeah, we are pressing and holding.
Let's see. I get the one for euro. I get the one for pounds, which isn't even used anymore. I get the one for yen.
No, those are all on my. They're on my regular list.
I get the upside down question mark because I speak Spanish so freaking well.
I don't even have that.
I get the suites of cards, which is weird, but not a cent symbol. I mean, you can look up the alt code on a computer, but no idea.
See, I thought this was the double S, and can't see it, but yeah, I'm doing it. I have upside down question mark. I just realized that the random I that's in my list is the upside down exclamation point.
Oh, that's a subscribe star symbol.
That's subscribe star? I don't think so.
It is if you look at the subscribe star logo. But I don't know.
Got a fucking umlaut.
It just makes my eyes look like they're blurry.
I got the fucking ohm on here. I got the symbol for the Green Lantern Corps. I got fucking paragraph indent.
We've got the targeting reticle.
All sorts of goofy shit on here. What's that wavy one? What's that for again?
The tilde?
Is that the tilde? Welcome back! You just got the text message.
Welcome back. Welcome to Boomer figuring out our Android phones.
Yeah, I just tried pressing and holding the symbols thing. Somebody posted a bunch of bullshit leet speak. Not really, but it basically is what it is. And I was bitching that I don't have a cent anymore, and I got called a boomer and told how to do it, and I cannot do it. I cannot do it.
You cannot.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, I can't.
Shit. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, girlfriend kept texting. She's having a bad day.
My Castilian only goes as far as corazón. It's when I pronounce a Z as a TH.
I will call it the upside down question mark because it is an upside down question mark.
Oh, the weird shit we get into.
Yeah, there is no format. There is no topic. There is no rhyme or reason to this goat rodeo here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I,
This is this is this is venting
I
for
think might have been
free.
on a milk.
So, pretty much.
'Cause, I haven't earned my you know what my girlfriend and I watch it's called Dancing Bacon. It's a YouTube channel. If you're not busy right now, go on to that channel, watch something good, and then come back when you're done.
We'll be here.
We will be here for the next hour and a half, whether you like it or not. The see if you I just held down my exclamation point and it doesn't even invert on it. So
No, because if you look at the second menu of the symbols, there's an upside down exclamation point.
yeah,
right next to
but
the
if you
upside
wanted to
down
shortcut
question
it, I'm gonna hold down all of them later when I'm not gonna be distracted by holding it down.
mark. Use a lowercase I. It's the same freaking thing.
Did you just try to? Yeah, I did. It would have worked too if I didn't scream incel, and it obviously was two lowercase i's right next to each other. The incel in Spanish, probably a different word. No, probably maybe celibate is probably an English word, not translatable because of machismo. But fuck. I was too busy thinking of machismo, which really signified my point.
Do you have a plethora of machismo?
Do you have a bathroom? Fuck. Movies suck now, but I still like them. I mean, it's not a current movie that I quote. I don't quote current movies, but I got some obscurity that. Well, I just obscured you earlier.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
If anybody listening even got that reference, I'd be shocked because it almost went over my head. I was the one who made the reference.
Oh, well, it's fucking good. I love that fucking. Oh, it's so good. See, Garrick, in the 90s, there was a dial-up comic. No, it was a dial-up. But, when does Spinock get paid? I think is what I was going with. I think I might be bitter about that.
Yeah, you could start a Patreon. That might work.
Fuck no. I don't even advertise this. I'm not going to advertise a fucking Patreon.
About the aforementioned subscribe star, which you threw the symbol out for.
It's not the subscribe star.
It is. Look at the
Pretty sure it's
subscribe star logo. Look at
I
it.
fucking will.
Look at it. Look at it.
Like, hey, you guys want to use the umlaut as our subscription signal?
Well, the problem is that all the umlaut letters have their specific keys for every letter that can be umlauted.
Yeah, it's in there. All the vowels have like 4 or 5 different choices to them. Three Amigos is a good movie, and it's damn near as quotable as Blazing Saddles, which is also a pretty good movie.
Yes.
But again, not being made anymore. Have you seen the commercial for them?
For them. No, I don't think
Yeah.
I have.
Okay, so do you know what Us is?
No.
Jordan Peele, Us.
Oh, okay, yes.
It's that. No, I think it's Get Out, actually. But it's like they ripped off Get Out and put it in the 50s.
Okay.
Which just completely makes it nonsensical. Who in their right mind would want to be black in the 50s? Like, well, I want to be the oppressed minority. That sounds right up my wagon there. Garrick,
But
did we put Blazing Saddle on the watch list?
yes,
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, the list is more like a novel.
It is. It's like he's like, I don't even have time to read this, let alone
we have
fucking.
people add a few. And one that I was very upset with us not thinking about was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
it's
Jurassic Park's was at the time good,
yeah. I mean,
but it's not Jaws.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. I mean, going back and rewatching it, unless you're just doing it to laugh at Newman and Jeff Goldblum, there's really no reason.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it was cutting edge, and that's what it had going for it. But otherwise, it's about a dude who doesn't want kids, who eventually doesn't have kids, being shitty to kids, and eventually changing his ways.
Obviously cast for or obviously written for Harrison Ford, and they couldn't get him to do the movie.
He was a busy man at the time.
Except he wasn't.
Fuck, he's still a busy man. What? He had like 3 Indiana Jones productions at
not during the time of before Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was not during. The closest movie was the third Indiana Jones to that, and it was long before that Abomination of the Crystal Skull. He wasn't doing anything at the time.
You know what pissed me off? I watched Constantine the other day, and I'm like, I fucking hate Shia LaBeouf.
Constantine?
Yeah.
Constantine is Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch it. You'll hate Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hate Shia LaBeouf anyway. Yeah, you're right. He's in it.
He's the sidekick. Just like he's the fucking sidekick in iRobot. Which, by the way, not a Cthulhu I. It's the not exclamation point, it's a regular I. God, just fucking awful. But Michael Crichton is my nightmare, by the way. To have an author like I read Jim Butcher, and he's like 16 books into his Harry Dresden series, and I love Harry Dresden, even though it's getting more and more shitty liberal, and his gunplay is getting worse. I'm like, how do you not know there's no safety on a revolver? Why is she cocking a Glock? Those things are not things. But our Jurassic Park is 93, and Indiana Jones. Damn it, 89.
Yeah, Last Crusade was in the 80s.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I love me some John Rhys Davies. Justin Bieber even hates Shia LaBeouf. That's
yeah, I was rooting for Sigourney Weaver in Holes.
I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, don't.
But I read the book. Who's Sigourney Weaver in Holes?
She's the one who runs the ranch.
Thank God.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Who is it? So I can yell at you.
It's been an hour, so that's actually pretty good.
Jesus, it has been an hour.
You heard?
Who?
Richard Kind.
Richard Kind. I don't know who that is.
I do, and okay, Jewy. Yeah, I'll give you that. Paul from
Yep.
Spin City.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
Except
I guess.
really hate that. Yeah, the same big mouth. I mean, come on, give it to me.
Richard Kind
But
was
he
put
has-
on this earth to be hated.
No, well, Richard Kind at least has the puppy dog eyes that makes you go, "Oh, I can't hate him that much."
You clearly didn't see Spin City. Paul was
No,
an abomination.
Well,
No.
I'll just leave it at this. I'm still going with Jake Busey.
yeah.
All right, so for those of you who are late, which is unforgivable, how dare you? We were trying to figure out who David
No, that was
Chipman looks
pregame.
like.
That's pregame.
I know, but it was
So-
David Chipman. We kind of mentioned it at the start. Who David Chipman
yeah.
looks
Kinda.
like.
And since I see him on my screen because I have it paused because I don't play the show, since I'm in it or on it, yeah, it looks nothing like him. You asshole.
I'm just telling you. Google Jake Busey today, and you'll see a picture, and it's the same dude.
Margie's on day 7 of the coof.
Oof.
Rough. Which means she got it
Soldier.
last week, possibly on the show. So, what did you realize from a movie?
Argo. It's the last one with him in it.
Yeah, he's from Sin City. He was on it for like 7 years. John, what epiphany did you have about a movie?
Oh, it wasn't a movie. It was a series.
Oh, it's a series.
I got around to watching Altered Carbon.
Oh God, no. That's one of those shows I will not watch because of how flighty it is.
I liked it.
Yeah, I still don't watch it.
I thought it was really good.
I'm still mad about Lost.
Plus, the thing that stood out to me, besides it being a good show, that I understand why they canceled it. There was no PC in it, so I mean, the only PC that they could really do was have a racially diverse cast, but people are uniformly terrible.
All right, you're singing praises for it now, so
Right, but yeah, it wasn't woke enough for Netflix, so they couldn't continue it. But they did have full frontal nudity of everybody.
Dudes.
Yeah, there was some schlong slapping around there. But all of the extremely hot female leads, full frontal nudity.
Like in a good way or like a Rob Zombie way?
In a good way.
Because I've never been beaten with nudity as badly as I have been watching Rob Zombie movies. Like abused by titty is what I would describe some frontal nudity in the
Yeah, if I have
Rob Zombie.
any complaint about the female leads is that they are they're all rail thin, skinny, so that you know what that does to boobs. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it would be nice to see a full figured woman.
flapjacks.
Kinda.
All right, so watching Lord of the Rings over the weekend, and yeah, Steve and I are going to go after Altered Carbon now for very different reasons. Watching Lord of the Rings, the return or the fuck, I can't remember which one it was. Anyways, so they end up going to Mordor to drop the ring, and I already had the thoughts of like, why couldn't the Eagles take them? It would have been a fucking really quick trip, and everything would have been done. But they do this path to Mordor and everything, and it takes 18 months. And the girlfriend goes, well, why didn't Aaron go? He knows where it is. I'm like, that's a good fucking point you got there. Like nobody did know where Mordor was, and obviously Mount Doom is fucking obvious as shit, but like, dude didn't say anything about it.
Who didn't?
Elrod. Elrond?
Elrond.
Elrond. Elrond.
Yeah, the guy who's the leader of Riverdale. Riverdale.
He's not the leader.
Yeah, he is. He's the head honcho in the elven city of Riverdale.
Yeah. You should have gone with the son of the leader of fucking Gondor and half-assed it up the hill. Would have been fine. As well as the son of the leader of what the fuck Legolas was. Although Legolas was the adopted son. But even Gimli was royalty.
Yeah, they all were.
Yeah. Well,
Boromir, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli. The only ones that weren't were the freaking hobbits.
yeah. But yeah, the elf dude.
Yeah, Elrond. The guy who plays Red Skull. That guy, Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
That character.
The only guy who wanted to get out of his Disney contract. And like personally, Red Skull is a favorite of my villains. They just don't make villains like that anymore. Like an evil fucking guy who was like decent evil. Not like a good guy who happened to be evil, but like an evil that wasn't like kicking puppies evil. Like, who the fuck kicks puppies?
Well, I mean, Thanos didn't kick puppies.
Thanos would have kicked a puppy though.
No, he just would have killed half of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, completely different.
He wouldn't kick
No, but
them.
like
He would just make half of them not exist.
it's not like I need my villain to have like a moral compass or anything like that, because that's kind of like the opposite of a villainy. But just like I don't need a guy laughing at a crying child. He was only the voice of Vendetta. He wasn't the actual Vendetta in the suit. I was a stuntman.
Good movie, all in all.
Yeah. Which is like it's disappointing because I would have liked to have thought of like Christopher Walken, just wrapped in a fucking green scarf around his head the entire time he was on Sleepy Hollow or what's the Ichabod Crane movie? Yeah, Sleepy Hollow. He was the headless horseman.
Way to spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have given you 21 goddamn years to watch it. By the way, for you slackers, Soylent Green is people. 42 years, you should have seen it by now. I gave you your chance. No.
Well,
Soylent Green's got to be... It's got to be older than that.
the best Christopher Walken movie, and the one where the bad guy should have triumphed, was View to a Kill.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah.
I think we all agree on that Max Zorin should have won.
Jennifer Jason Leigh kicked a puppy and sing like, I don't like Jennifer Jason Leigh. I fucking hate her in Crazy 8 or Hateful 8 or whatever it's fucking called.
Are you supposed to hate her, or are you not supposed to hate her? Because I hate.
It's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Okay,
I didn't like anybody ever.
Right. Well, the thing is that you have to appreciate like the woman who played Dolores Umbridge in the Harry Potter movies, because I hate the character. I hate her. But that's good acting when you hate the person you're supposed to hate that vehemently.
I realized that with Edge from wrestling. Like,
or
this
Jack
fucking
Gleason
guy.
from Game of Thrones when he played King Joffrey. Yeah, got to give props to that kid.
Yeah, when you actually act so well that everybody hates you, you've done your job well.
Yeah, kinda. Like, have you seen Babadook?
Have I seen Babadook? I think I have
Babadook?
seen Babadook.
There's a child. I hate him. He was not supposed to be hateable. But I hate kids in movies. Like, like, with the exception of Jonathan Lipnicki and Jerry Maguire, I don't want to see kids in your goddamn movie. I would be fine with an adult playing a child in Look Who's Talking. Yeah, but do you like Kevin McAllister? By the way, who's trending? Not Kevin McAllister, but Macaulay Culkin.
What's he trending for now?
Sadly, he's not dead.
I don't want him dead.
So this just in. Duante Wright, the officer who fatally shot him, is Kimberly Potter, a 25-year veteran of the Minneapolis Police Department. And funnily enough, doesn't have a race on here.
Interesting.
She has 2 adult sons. 2 officers involved in the shooting were told by Potter to exit the residence, get into separate squad cars, turn off their body-worn cameras, and do not talk to each other. Yeah, that's how you separate witnesses. So, good on her for that. Minus the turn off your body camera.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they should be allowed to turn them off.
After the incident.
Not even after the incident, because then they're material witnesses, and anything they can say can and will be used against them in a court of law.
Yeah, all right. I would have left the body cameras on too. But because that would have confirmed that they got into separate squad cars and were not talking to each other.
That too. But yeah, as soon as you're on duty, that thing needs to be on, and it needs to be on the entire fucking time.
It is.
Should not have an off switch.
The body cameras are on the entire time you're on duty. However,
Record button they click on.
Huh?
There's typically it saves like the previous 20 minutes and records onward.
We have the technology to stream this shit.
Yeah, kind of.
We have the technology to stream this shit. It can all be 100% archived.
Mm-hmm. So what happens is, from the time you go active, you push the button to record. It starts 20 minutes prior to that as a save point, and then in case it goes long, it can use everything before that has been recorded. It can rewrite over that, and for the duration of the incident.
Every shift for every cop needs to be a live stream.
Yeah.
It would make for great reporting too.
I'd be like, this is the 5th time that motherfucker's tied his own shoes. He needs to learn double knots.
Yes. I want the boring and mundane shit to be sifted through.
Like the cop walking up to your vehicle and he turns his body so that you see him press his thumb against your car. Yeah, the fingerprint ID in case you run off.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I used to get up and get out of my car while he was getting back into his. When he would get back in his car, I'd get out of my car and I'd wipe it off, just so that he knew I saw him do it. Not that it matters, because what is that called when you're not a felon? I'm not a goddamn felon.
Yet.
Yeah. Biden's doing his damnedest, though.
Exactly. What does affiliation mean?
Who is next to a sink?
Garrick's having incontinence issues.
Are you in the bathroom?
If turning off the fan would help.
Oh, is that a dangler hitting a piece of glass? Who's asking about affiliation?
Matt McFadder.
What version of affiliation?
Well, I'm assuming he's meaning in the title. This picture is an accurate representation of political affiliation left to right.
Oh. Okay. So it's association. Does that work for you? It's a particular group of people or party.
You affiliate yourself with a political identity. You can, if you put a label on yourself, that's who you affiliate with.
Mm-hmm. It's like a close link, kind of. You're linking yourself, pairing yourself with something. I start The Boys tomorrow. If I'm gonna watch TV, I might as well get paid for it.
Good show. Hope you enjoy it.
Is affiliation misspelled in the thumbnail? I don't think so. I didn't have an autocorrect. Pretty sure that's how you spell affiliation.
Affiliation. Okay, let's check.
No, I did.
Affiliation.
Yeah, I misspelled it. I put the I. I should have put an I in front of the L. I am dyslexic, kids, so fucking deal with it.
Affiliation.
Yeah, I misspelled it.
Affiliation.
If you look back, there's probably misspellings in every single one of the title cards I've put up. Every single one.
I like when you inaccurately spell inaccurate or accurate.
Hell, it took me a year and a half to learn how to spell anecdotally.
Face spells argument with an E because it's English, and so I had
spells color with a U.
he spells some things with some things. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I have that problem. I read a lot of English books, so my spelling is often English. Like to this day, I don't know if it's an S or a Z in real life because one way is English and the other is English.
I'm going to start calling English American and
American.
Just tell the English that they no longer own the moniker. Like, we need to stop teaching English and start teaching American English. Kind of like we need to stop teaching Spanish and start teaching Mexican.
Yeah.
You're more likely to encounter a Mexican and you need to know the lingo rather than Spanish and have them look at you funny. Because they will, and they do.
Oh, Wolfie started the self-docs.
She did.
Hi, Lancer. Yeah, that about works for me. Markin. And since Canadian is English, they can fuck off.
Yeah, except they need.
Speaking of, did you hear about St. Vincent?
I haven't, but hang on. They need to change how they spell about.
About.
That needs to happen immediately.
Spell it phonetically. I want at least an umlaut or some shit. Maybe some ampersand. So there's a eruption in St. Vincent, and they started evacuation last week for the safety of the islanders, because it's an island. Clearly, that's why they're called islanders. And they were only picking up on the first cruise ship only vaccinated people.
There's a reason.
Yeah, because officially under the Crown, there are two separate classes of people. There is now the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
Well, and cruise lines won't pick up unvaccinated because that would prohibit them from returning to business, because then they would have to re-shut down those ships and re-clean them, re-retrofit them, and re-crew them. So that's why they're doing that.
There's no crew on the ship. It's a fucking ship.
There's always a crew on the ship.
Like a dining crew?
Yes.
Like they fully staffed a cruise ship that was being sent just to... At this
point, cruise lines are being restaffed fully because they're expecting to return to service. So yes,
This was a rescue mission. It's not like a.
they still have a full rack of engineers. They still have a full rack of command crew. They still have a full rack of stewards.
For an emergency rescue?
Yes. They may or may not have dining staff. I would assume they would because they need to feed the people they pick up.
You take them from one place, you drop them off at the other place.
They still have to be able to provide for the people that they take on board. That might be, hardtack and rum for all I know, but hey, you still have to provide for them.
Wolfie says it's still Wolfie. I just had to change the account so my doc wouldn't give me weird looks and online office visits. Yeah. Those weird furry looks.
You can have multiple accounts. Just saying. All it takes is a Gmail address, and you can make a Gmail address for anything you want.
No. You can just create a second account on your account.
Right, like mine logs into YouTube as Liberative, but my main account is Sean M. Cron.
That's
mean
Sean Macron.
Thank you.
It is not. Some people can just
Oh, Richard Kind. That's who we were thinking of. Yeah. It's literally in the upper corner. Just it's a click and then a click and then a click. 3 clicks. You didn't have to type out.
We're happy you're here, Wolfie.
Yeah. Welcome. Now, about Chuck Tingle. No.
So I recently stumbled upon a Mitch Hedberg theory that that Bigfoot, it does exist. He's just blurry.
Yeah. There was I was watching a creepypasta story, like a collection of stories, and the Canvas Pro was the for some reason the it wasn't like there was any sort of artwork being done for the creepypastas or anything like that. They just were the sponsor of the creepypasta video. Canvas Pro, a photo editing and design suite thing. And one of them was a Bigfoot story, and I'm like, I'd like to thank Canvas Pro. I accidentally took a shot at Bigfoot in 1080i, and through the magic of Canvas Pro, I was able to blur it so he wouldn't get mad at me. Yeah, he's got like. There actually is a theory that there. Well, first off, there's the stupidest thing out there that is no one ever stumbles across any Bigfoot bones. It's like, yeah, with the exception of like rodents, you don't stumble across any bones in a forest. Like, you'll find a deer antler many, many more times than you'll ever find the actual bones of any animal, for a variety of reasons. For the most part, animals don't stand on trails. That's a bad thing. Only people are on trails. But
Or a big enough one.
Yeah.
Like a moose. A moose is going to take the trail because it's easy.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, a moose has a fucking rack that's like 9 feet across.
Yeah. What's going to take down a moose? A bear. And that's a very large maybe.
Or like a huge fucking pack of wolves. That's about it. And then they don't go for the big ones. They usually go for the smaller ones.
Yeah. But even then, you won't find moose bones. And we know there's goddamn mooses.
Meese?
Mises.
No, it's mooses. But yeah, they so finding the bones of a Bigfoot is fucking dumb. You can't tell. You would be surprised how small a human skull actually is compared to a human head. And you have a skull yourself.
Yeah, it's also 2 inches inside your head.
Well, I'm saying, like, you would be surprised. You're like, oh, clearly a child died here. No, that's the fucking skull of a full-grown ass adult. But can you tell me the difference between a femur of a man and any fucking other creature? like, yeah, there's.
Well, Austro archaeologists can, but they're trained, literally.
Yeah, there's some training involved.
So yeah, it takes a while to figure
None of
that
us,
shit
none of us is bones, so you don't. That shit doesn't count. It's one of those dumb explanations that that
I downloaded
that don't make sense. No. Also, quit torturing animals. I don't care what's in your shed. Black magic. I mean, if it's humid out, most animals are pretty blurry, unless they're short-haired. But there's also a theory that Bigfoot travels interdimensionally, so that's why they never catch him, because they just swoop on out of here. And that is being propagated by Michio Kaku because he's so smart, he's stupid.
Ugh.
There's Michio Kaku, who is a brilliant man in his own right. Is under the impression that items just spontaneously appear because the length of time of the world versus the statistical probability of it happening at a given time. There's more time than there is the probability of it. That's not going to happen. It's never going to happen, but it could happen, which is stupid.
So, Michio Kaku believes in creation.
I actually don't know what his belief is on that, but it's
Well, I mean that's where that theory leads. It's the same thing with the simulation theory. Any of these devout atheists that swear we're in a simulation means they believe in God.
ipso facto, motherfucker.
Yeah. There is a God. You believe in one. Stop pretending like you're an atheist.
Yeah, stop it for edgy boy points. I agree, but he's like so smart, he's stupid. It's like Revenge of the Nerds 3 when Ogre is stoned and saying stupid things, and they think it's like incredibly smart. Like, what if dog was spelled C-A-T? No, it's not gonna happen. But way to blow our minds with that. No.
Yes, somebody named, William Shakespeare pondered this as well. Yeah, more. Do a little reading. This relativism bullshit is getting on my fucking nerves.
Alex Jones sounds smarter than Jappo, dude. So, if we're going to talk about Alex Jones this week was in the news for jumping in front of a human trafficker, which is about 100% goddamn accurate. He's down at the border. I mean, he's from Austin, Texas, which is by no means a conservative bastion, of course. But he went down to the border, and he was in Donna, Texas, and hitting up, investigating these Ute centers. My Cousin Vinny, also a great quotable movie. The defense is wrong.
Yeah, you blend.
No, the defense is wrong. Anyway, that's my impersonation of a neo-unrealist.
Are you saying that Neo Unrealist is Aunt May?
No, she actually has less of an accent as Aunt May than she does as so he actually talked about it today. He said he could clean up his accent. So next time he's on, I'm gonna ask him to clean up his accent.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, what's it sound like if you're not from goddamn Brooklyn your entire life? Huh? Do it. I just want to see. Make the magic happen. He's down in at the border, and he sees this dude load up a it's kind of like an SUV. It's like a mix of an SUV and a minivan. Just chucking fucking kids into the cargo area. And he's like, those kids don't have a safety belt. His car seats. So he goes over there and finds out that a Catholic church, something about the Rio Grande, has one lady and like 7 kids packed into this thing. And it's only the back seat and the trunk area of like the cargo area. No seat belts. No restraints of any kind. It's an actual dangerous situation. And
what now?
What?
I say what now? What did you say?
Cargo? Dangerous situation? What? One adult and like 7 kids?
It sounded like you were struggling for a minute there, buddy.
Was I lagging?
Maybe.
No.
Might have just been.
Did I have a flub?
No.
Oh. Scared an idiot?
No.
Think the jury's out on that one, bro. Actually, I am now convinced Alex Jones is right about more things than Michio Kaku is, because that guy is pretty fucking out there with his you could materialize at any minute and something could materialize. Like, no, it can't. Statistically, whatever the fuck, statistics aren't an actual thing. Hillary Clinton broke statistical odds by winning 6 fucking coin tosses in a row against Bernie Sanders, losing him the fucking Iowa caucus.
That coin was rigged.
It was 6 different coins, which is the weirdest thing. Like I figured it was a rigged coin, but there's a bunch of different coins.
Yeah, it was a bunch of trained
they were
operatives.
I can do that.
Predetermining the outcome.
I can do that. I took an online magic correspondence course because I'm a badass. Shut up, people.
You're so cool.
I'm so fucking cool. You know what you want to be as a teenager? A fucking magician. That's what you want to be.
Did you play
Pick
the
this card,
accordion
bitch.
too?
No. The harpsichord was way pimper.
Because you can lug those around.
I actually don't know what a harpsichord is. I was thinking of a different, but I couldn't to pin it at the time. It's what's the thing with the hand? I can't think of it. Anyway, harpsichord worked for hilarity's sake. I know I played the alto sax, which is smaller than a tuba, so that works for me. So yeah, you literally when you feel a coin, the face is a smoother side, and the
Tails.
The back is no, the tails is rougher. You can feel it in your hand. Air harp? No, that's not it. Slide whistle. That's what I was thinking. No. So never let, for any reason, when you flip a coin, flip it and let it land where it cannot be manipulated. That's the only way to do a coin toss legitly. Other than that, it can be manipulated by either pushing. When you feel the coin, you can feel if it's heads or tails by whether it's smooth or rough. And there's a way to slap your hand with a closed fist onto your hand to keep the rough side down. Or when you go to slap, you open your hand, and with the force of the movement, open the coins onto your fingertips, turning it over. So either way, just let it fall to the ground and like they do in the NFL, or the NFL.
Yeah.
So Alex Jones sees these kids being chucked into the back of this SUV-ish thing, and he stops it and he questions the poor fucking immigrant driver. He's like, "I ain't taking the kids." And then he stopped talking because Alex Jones is Alex Jones, and he just fucking made the entire situation 10 times worse than it needed to be, because he is a character on TV and not a real person. But they said it was staged, but they literally drew the cops to the scene to have it investigated, and the cops did jack fuck all. Nothing. 7 kids in a vehicle crammed in there. They were probably like 7 to 9 years old. And they accepted on face value that this woman claimed all 7 kids were hers. And they were going to the church down the road to pick up supplies. No matter how you define it, it was trafficking and reckless endangerment of children that they were not even safety belted in. And statistically, you're more likely to get in an accident within 2 miles of your home than anywhere else on the road. So traveling under 2 miles is more dangerous than traveling 10 miles, somehow, magically. Alex does have no way to win. Civil suit under his belt, though. Yes, and we'll see where that goes. He did tell the Sandy Hook parents he thought they were all fake. But if he pulls it together and puts out a impressive enough display of why he would believe that, given the bullshit, literally, there's a bunch of shit online that he could pull up to make it seem like the kids that it was fake. And reality is to an individual, not a group. So what he believed at the time he said it is what matters. Statistically isn't a thing, because statistics are stupid. In Michigan, the state of Michigan, right now, there is a thing called driver's responsibility fees. And those driver's responsibility fees are because 1 out of 6 accidents is caused by somebody with more than 6 points on their driver's license. So it starts out with, if you have more than 6 points on your driver's license, you have to pay $250 for the first year and a secondary fee of $250. And it increases $50 for every point on your license, which means 1 out of 6 accidents caused with somebody more than 6 points on their license. That 5 out of 6 accidents are not caused by somebody with more than 6 points on their license.
Right. Statistics are a thing, but probability is also a thing. And a lot of people never conflate the two, or do conflate the two, and don't make amends for how each one are different. You can prove almost anything with statistics because that's been a thing forever. Depends on how you frame it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Michio says statistically, shit just disintegrates and reappears, or whatever the fuck he says. I don't.
Well,
I stopped listening after it got stupid.
Well, I mean, that's literally what happens. The problem is that what pops into and out of existence are subatomic particles.
I have like 16 right socks that don't have left socks, so I'm also going to say left socks are particles.
They vaporize out of existence?
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. There's a pocket dimension full of left socks.
Just no left socks. It's more endearing than the world that's all shrimp. It's easy to get tired of that one. The left is calling Alex Jones a liar and saying that he set it up. And okay, also a slight off-topic tirade. The right is holding the line and stagnation. What they need, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be that. However, the left, the liberals, are for purposeful advancement. That's the 70s, the 80s. That's what we had. We had conservatism and liberalism, and the liberals were supposed to drag conservatives forward, but the conservatives were supposed to maintain what worked. What the left is now, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, even though he's a socialist, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, the other dinosaurs that are in there, they are progressives. It is part of the left, but when you're talking shit about the left and the stupid shit they're doing, it's progressives. It's not liberals. They're not libtards because it's not the liberals doing it. There are no liberals out there. An actual liberal voter who is, in essence, liberal, trying to come and take your guns. There is Beto, who is a progressive, and then there's Mama Tulsi, who is the closest thing that party has right now to a liberal. And she's half off a rocker anyway. But she has policies you can at least agree to.
Or not get upset if they get enacted, basically. I mean, I don't have to agree to them, but I'm not going to put up too much of a fight if she gets her way.
Right stops and left stops are not a thing. But I have I have a piece of Velcro on my shoe that sticks to my sock and causes a little fur ball to appear on every sock I have, and it's only on my right foot because the left shoe doesn't have the same fold in it. So there's a little fur ball on my right sock, and I can tell that's my right sock because my right shoe has the Velcro that pulls at the cotton, making it a little fur ball. That's how I know my socks were on my right foot. And that's not including the socks I have that are labeled right and left.
Nike makes, I think they're called dry fit, or there's some kind of sport socks. They're literally marked left and right. And that's how I know which ones are which. Who has a cat?
How's the zoo going over there, Sean? What the hell? Yeah. Someone open a door?
The puppy is trying to get at the cat. One moment.
That's true. Poor people keep their money in their right sock. Everybody knows that.
Knock it off.
A Velcro. It's a piece of Velcro that goes over the top of your shoe to keep the knot down. You guys don't have Velcro fucking straps on
That's
your
a good-
shoes?
Why do you have Velcro shoes, Jake?
To keep the knot tied on my shoe. You guys don't have straps on your shoes?
No. We're grown-ass men.
I too am. I'm more grown than you are.
My
Yeah,
shoes
argue
don't have
that
strings.
one.
They called
Fight me. Taller, older, wider. I got you fucking coming and going.
You kick that pussy out or what, Sean?
Yeah, I put him on the chair where the dog can't get at him.
Cheater.
My shoelaces are 550 paracord, and they're a certain length of 550 paracord for intended reasons. And I can take off my socks, or I can take off my shoelaces and still keep my shoe properly on my foot with even when I get arrested, because that's been a thing that has happened repeatedly in my life. But you know what I don't do? Fight with the goddamn cops.
That's why you get arrested.
No, that's not the reason I get arrested. It's usually, yeah, okay. I say some smart stuff. Shit. Well,
Yeah,
I have.
we could technically get sued by the company that owns Velcro for mentioning Velcro and not just hook and loop.
Yeah, okay. Up next,
Okay.
duct tape.
Ductile tape.
Well, duct
Maybe.
tape is appropriate. You can't say duct tape because duct tape is an actual branded product.
Yeah, it's duct tape is the brand of duct tape.
Correct.
I saw a video the other day. This dude was doing 110 on the highway, and he got pulled over. And for like half of the incident, he didn't think he was going to get arrested, which really is his fault, because doing 35 over is definitely reckless driving, which is a loss of your license, and you get arrested for that.
I got popped doing 102 on I-17.
Were you white at the time?
I was.
He'd probably get let off.
I got a nasty ticket, but yeah, he didn't put me in cuffs, and he could have, and he didn't. So yeah,
I had a similar thing. I was doing 70 and a 35, so that's 35 over. I was also in a school zone that was under construction, and I was blowing off steam at night. It was my mom's funeral, and my friends in the car, and they gave me a 10 over ticket. And the cop who wrote the ticket was also the cop who a couple days before was at my house to explain why we needed to keep somebody at the home during the funeral, because there had been a brash of robberies that were using the MO of looking up obituaries and then going to the yellow pages to look up the address of people who had just passed, because they were robbing the houses of the recently deceased because they knew no one would be there. They'd be at the funerals.
Good Lord. I mean, that's crafty and evil.
Yeah. So I didn't earn the 34 points of the ticket that I should have gotten. And the guy understood why, and he still gave it. My uncle's like, you should fight that. And I'm like, I can't fight it. Like, there's so much worse. Like, construction zone is double, school zone is double, and I was recklessly driving.
He was basically
Like-
telling you he was just not going to show up.
Yeah, he did. But and the funny thing is I'm there to like, because it's a court date. You can't just pay the fucking ticket because of the city I live in. They want to see you and talk to you. So I look at the cop and he's looking at me, and he goes up, like he testifies twice, like right before me, and then it's my turn, and they call me, and he walks out the door, and I'm like, where the fuck are you going? You're supposed to be here for my ticket. And they call him up, and he's not there. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I get it now. Like, I understand that. You don't post false funeral times in an obituary. That's literally so the people you're not. This is 1999. There's no other way to get out there of the people who knew your parents that you're not in close contact with can find out about the funeral. It's a time when people actually bought newspapers to read them and surf the obituary. Yeah, that was. I still had to pay a fee because the judge was just not happy about it because he read like the whole thing, and he's like, $50 for court costs. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, you're right. You're right. I will pay $50 for court costs to get out of this. Losing my license was definitely a possibility.
Right.
But also, the court know my older brothers and took their licenses. So like it's a fine line you walk. Also, I've been pulled over for being the wrong color. I live outside Metro Detroit. If you go into Detroit and you are white, not on a highway or anything like that, but in a neighborhood, and you are the wrong color, you get stopped because the majority of the reason that the kids my age were in that area were to buy drugs. I was going to my dad's house, but the majority of people traveling, it's a thing. If you live in a like majority, like over 90% white, like where the Black Lives Matter co-founder just bought her new property. Huh, how about that?
It's good work if you can get it.
Yeah, apparently. It's her fourth property.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I also have broken into my own house and gotten busted by the police. And they ran, like they knew I lived there because it's a small town. To buy drugs for my dad. Yes, you're right. But I hadn't gotten there yet. So what are you gonna do, officer? He had to catch me coming and going. 'Cause I'm a teenage magician.
Ooh, I like that one.
but-
BLM now stands for buy lots of mansions.
Man.
Derp.
Well, it would have been weed because high school, but no, I wasn't buying drugs. My dad only smoked pot to fall asleep because he's that sort of exciting. It was 1989. It was a different kind of weed. So you know that what was it? Was he Cambridge professor? Was breaking in his own house. I've been caught breaking into my own house too, and I'm like, I'd like to think that a cat burglar climbing through windows is not going to be my size. Just on a random opinion.
That is not body positive, and we're going to get banned.
I was saying about myself personally. Like, good on you guys for making it through that window and third floor. That's some real.
Don't let your dreams be memes or something like that.
Don't let your memes be dreams. That's some solid gutter work if you can shimmy up that thing. But so like they knew I lived there and everything, and it was just a matter of calling into dispatch and getting a confirmation that there was nothing that said I couldn't be in my house, and it was the possibility of a crime. It wasn't a crime, but yeah, they came on to me hard, like back the fuck out of that window right now, and it's like, oh, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, come down. We need to talk to you for a minute. Because you have to start out harder than is necessary for a situation. Because if you have to go harder, that's escalation of a situation. So if you come in, yeah, words. If you come in at a 7, yeah, you're pretty high and supposedly intimidating, but you can lower it from there when the situation doesn't deem you being a total fucking dick. However, in other situations, you have to go past the 7. Like if you're dealing with a lieutenant who thinks he hasn't done anything wrong and refusing to get out of the car after he's created a felony situation by not stopping, shit happens. Know your local laws. If you don't, you're asking for trouble. And there's a good chance. Well, he was a reservist, so he actually lived in Virginia, so he would know the laws. But if you are an active duty military member, there's a chance that you've been moved out of state to a posting, fucking TDY, that you don't know the local laws. Learn the fucking local laws. You don't want to be an Alabaman who is 19 banging 15-year-olds because that's legal, and end up getting posted to Florida, where the minimum age is 18. Oh, well, where I used to live. That's not where you currently live. You've broken the law, sir. Ignorance is not an excuse. However, a knowledge base that you have at the time is an excuse. Plead the fifth, just like George Floyd's drug dealer. Yeah, that's brilliant. And I should tell you something. If he thinks he could get charged with third-degree murder, that maybe the drugs were at fault.
Yes. Which is what a lot of people have been saying for the majority of a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ever since the Hennepin County coroner came out with what I saw somebody doing an arm lock, an arm bar, which means his legs were across the person's chest, and the arm was in between his thighs, with it extending up his body into a lock that will hyperextend the elbow. I turned to my girlfriend and I go, "That's a blood joke." My girlfriend, who is in mixed martial arts, looked at me like I was an idiot, and I had to explain the entire thing to her. So, for one stupid comment, I had explained to her 20 minutes of bullshit because she does not have a Twitter. Fair trial, yeah, he doesn't. Chauvin doesn't have a chance at a fair trial. However, the more bullshit that comes out, it's gonna lead to a mistrial. And at that point, you just take the secondary rioting, because if there's a third trial, or if there's a second trial, there's going to be a third riot.
Well, they've already started.
Yeah, I mean, there's just going to be another riot. So you don't go through with it past that.
A rational person wouldn't, but we're talking about Keith Ellison,
who is going to be the reason that it's a mistrial. Going with second-degree murder instead of third is completely Keith Ellison's decision, and he fucked it up for everybody.
Intentionally.
Absolutely intentionally. I don't like the drugs. The drugs like me. Does your girlfriend does mixed martial arts? My girlfriend does wrestling, and joint locks are a part of wrestling that she is familiar with, and I've taught her some stuff. She does a pretty good getting spanked that I appreciate. My girlfriend can fuck up a pickle jar. I'll tell you that much. Manslaughter could have been a charge. Like involuntary manslaughter could have been something that would have been more acceptable to the people.
Well, it's still on the table. The problem is that they're going to get a non-guilty verdict for what they want, and that's going to be the headline. Even if he is convicted of manslaughter or unintentional manslaughter, which is still a possibility, that's not going to be good enough because the headlines will read, pronounced not guilty.
East Texas wrestling. The DA found headlines more of value than a prosecution in 2020.
Right, and he will say that he decided on a grosser charge, meaning bigger, than could be proven, because if he hadn't, then the public would have rioted. No matter what he does, the public's going to riot, and he damn well knows it. So there's just going to be riots.
Mm-hmm. At no point during the riots, he could have come out with a better set of charges. What are they going to do? More riot that night that they've already rioted for 34 fucking days? Is an extra AutoZone going to get burned down? It's bullshit. Like it wouldn't change a damn thing. But don't forget, we've seen Keith Ellis with a Marxist playbook, and he's a big fan of Farrakhan, and he is a piece of shit. Also, black.
He is also the first guy that made me notice that a lot of Democrats have been going after DA positions. Like, he could have run for governor and probably won, but he chose not to. He chose to go for the DA position. And it got me thinking about, well, why the hell would this guy go for a DA position and not a governor position or something else? That
former Congressman Keith Ellis sought office as a district attorney.
Right. And then the same thing happened in Chicago with Rahm Emanuel. Not Rahm Emanuel.
Kim Fox.
Well, not Kim Fox, but I mean that's part of it. But who was Barack Obama's wingman for Fast and Furious? What was this?
Rahm Emanuel.
No, it was Rahm Emanuel. Yeah. So yeah, he went for a position that
Rahm Emanuel, who was not a legitimate candidate for Chicago office. He did not have the prerequisite of living in Chicago the 6 months prior to him filing for his run.
Right. So yeah, I was started noticing that a lot of high-profile Democrats were underselling themselves for positions that they could do well better than, and gleefully going after them. So that clued me into some sort of game plan that they had, because there's no reason for that. If it was purely motivated by self-interest, that wouldn't be what happened.
But Eric Holder was the Attorney General for Fast and Furious. Like Rahm Emanuel brainchild, but Eric Holder was the attorney back and get up.
Yeah. It's like Maxine Waters deciding if she somehow got voted out of office, would run for California DA.
Which was Kamala Harris's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Kamala Harris's. I know. So we talked about St. Vincent. We hit on the shooting. There's also a shooting in California. So there was a shooting in Tennessee today and a shooting in California today. The California shooter was a 20-year-old black man, so you won't be hearing about that one.
Nope.
And they haven't gotten the information out about the Tennessee shooter, so they're still going with that one. And if it's a white guy, they'll stick with it. But if there's one thing.
The other thing that we didn't really touch on about the shooting of the douchebag Duante or whatever his name is. The thing that we didn't touch on is the fact that it was a female officer who shot him while making a huge mistake. The only reason this stays in the news is because of the mistake. Otherwise, her being a woman, no matter what her color is, this would go the way of the dinosaur or any California shooting.
Mm-hmm. No, she's not a slave trader. She was a slave buyer. Her family bought slaves. They didn't trade slaves. No, it's D. There's actually D in there, but other than that, that's how it's spelled. Like Duante. Just a terrible name all around.
Something you don't want to put on a resume.
Something that won't get accepted on a resume. So the medical examiner for Duante Wright has ruled it a homicide. There's something going around. I don't know if it's the white supremacist trying to start shit or if it's an actual thing, but they're claiming Kimberly Potter is black and a lesbian. So I don't know how accurate that stuff is. So treat it with a grain of salt until you see a picture of her. As of 1 hour ago, BLM has shut down the Manhattan Bridge in New York City.
She's white.
You looked her up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I wonder what they're pushing here. Stupid shit, apparently. Usually these guys are pretty good. But like I said, I looked at the video. She looked white to me. Just from her hands.
Well, what was the city it would happen in? Was it Brooklyn Center? Do we know it's... Oh, yeah, then she's white.
Yeah, 25-year veteran of the force, Kimberly Potter, in a picture.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least from Fox News from an hour ago.
Rashida Tlaib, that font of wisdom, says it wasn't an accident. Policing in our country is inherently and intentionally racist. Duante Wright was met with aggression and violence. I am done with those who condone governmental-funded murder. No more policing, incarceration, or militarization. It can't be reformed. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Fuck that A-Rap. If anything, I have more blame for the officer who arrested him with the door open and didn't cuff him before telling him that they were going to arrest him. He should have been moved from in front of the driver's seat with the door open and key in the ignition to a more secure location, because the side of the road is not a place to arrest somebody. On the side of a car, on the side of a road, it's no place to do any sort of even talking to somebody. It's a dangerous place. Don't do it. But the bullshit in the media will give you a different narrative. Oh, speaking of media, so as a final topic to cover, Black Magic, stop using all caps. I'll kick your ass. I can do that here. I have the power. Fucking be live. Matt Gaetz. The story shifted on his situation. If he's fucking 17-year-olds in Florida or out of Florida, fry him because he's a piece of shit. However, the narrative has now changed to one of the girls he's had a conversation with, who is 18, is a porn star. This is Florida. There are hundreds of 18-year-old porn stars in Florida. It's one of the two meccas of porn. Florida and California. Because they have amazing weather most of the year. I know one of Kamala's former slaves sold a sweatshop for $450. What's this about a female shooter? The cop involved in the Duante Wright shooting was a 25-year veteran of the force. She mistook her pistol for her taser, to the point of she cleared the other officers by saying taser, 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 and then she tased him with a bullet. So she knew what she was. Motherfucker, hypocrisy, bastard with the chewing of the live stream. So she mistook her pistol for her taser and shot the guy, which is a tragedy. But still, don't stop fucking arguing with cops. Just stop trying to resist arrest and getting shot. Is what I'm saying to you. I'm a big dude. I have to stand up on my own for the cops to get me in a different position. So I could lay there and be an asshole and require 10 cops to come over and lift me up like a dick, but that helps nobody. Maybe she named her sidearm Taser. Like she was announcing, get ready, taser, 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 everybody. I'm shooting this guy. It's a loss of life is a tragedy.
It is a tragedy. I mean, we were going to make jokes about it because we're crass, dark human beings, but yeah, it is a tragedy.
Mm-hmm. I will laugh at it because he brought that situation upon himself. The taser wouldn't have needed to be involved if he didn't try to evade police. And what absolutely gets me is the reason for him being pulled over was expired plates. But if you look at any of his photos online, he flashes hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Come to find out his job, he worked at McDonald's. The media is going to tell you about his warrant being for something stupid, but you'll find out that he has a litany of criminal charges, including he was once busted with a fucking Ruger 45 ACP. Ruger revolvers are quality. Ruger rifles are quality. A 1022 is one of the best guns on the market with a reasonable cash point. Ruger pistols are a bit shit. So revolver, they have a whole line of cowboy revolvers that are quality and decent. They have the SP101 and the GP100, great revolvers, but their semi-autos are kind of bullshit. So he's only half jogger, and those are considered walkers. And 20-year-old with a 2-year-old is an example of poor decision making. But the mother of the child is white, so he's only a quarter jogger, which makes him a crawler. So that should be passable in most 4.0 student just trying to get his life together. He's going to go into to be a furnace repairman in the future. He didn't at all commit a crime earlier that day. a la Mike Brown. He wasn't a twitchy fucking guy doing a meth dance inside the cut foods, a la George Floyd. Just a piece of shit. I wish more people were like Philando Castile, who just didn't listen. I probably would have supported a Philando Castile riot. The cops were a little on the trigger-happy side, but that fucking guy did not listen after telling the cops he was armed, and he was not intelligent enough to follow the instructions. I can say I'm going for my ID because he wanted to prove he was a concealed pistol carrier. The first thing they tell you in a concealed pistol carry course is to announce that you have a pistol on you. The second is follow officer instructions. Just fucking stupid. It's a way to get people out of the gene pool that I'm not particularly upset about. But also, there's too much defense for cops right now. I support police, ideally in they enforce law and order side of things. However, they have definitely gone off the reservation a smidge. Yeah, Philando Castile. It was an overreaction, but don't fucking go and grabbing shit after you tell me you have a gun on you. I would have probably been in the same situation. I'm not looking to get... It's not about yourself getting shot. You have the responsibility of other people who were there as well. The cop at the other door, who could see more than he could, who didn't shoot, or whatever the situation is, just don't do it. When I get pulled over, I turn the interior car light on, turn the car off after rolling the window down, pulling my wallet out and putting it on the dashboard, and my keys go out the window on top of the car for the officer's safety. Because a safe officer means I don't get shot in the anything. And in general, doing this has left me getting warnings when I should have gotten tickets. Not my white skin, my usually respectful statements, usually, if I'm... Usually. Sometimes I get mouthy. Oftentimes I get really mouthy. But I'm following the orders as well. Don't ever move your hands when you get pulled over. Somehow. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go one step further, Mike, and I put the keys so that the cop can see them.
I leave the keys in and and it on because I keep the AC on.
You live in hell.
Pretty much.
So, I once got pulled over.
My hands are always top of the steering wheel.
I was like 18 or 19. I was in Detroit. I was at a punk rock club because being a teenage punk rock guy is also something you should do to get chicks. Not at all detrimental, as well as being a magician. And I was at a light, and then because it's Detroit, it was like maybe 100 yards to the next light, and at the other light was a cop. We both had red lights, and their light goes green. My light stayed red. And for some reason, I see green light, and I went, and I blew through a red light. Pouring down rain. I get stopped. I roll down my window, take my keys out, throw it on, and I hear, "Driver, step out of your feet." He ends up calling me back to his vehicle, and I have to give him my license and registration through the goddamn window in the pouring rain. Anyway, I got a warning. He didn't give me a ticket for it.
You would have gotten a ticket if he was the one who got out.
Oh yeah. So he's like 19-year-old kid, and like I explained to him where I was, and he's like, "You got a receipt?" And I was like, "I have a flyer." And he goes, "Is it on you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's in my pocket. I don't know if you can read it through this deluge of fucking rain." But so I gave it to him. He's like, "All right, yeah, get out of here." I'm like, "Fucking thanks, officer. You're lucky I wasn't at a fucking what are the ones with the makeup? Emo club." I would have washed clean by then. I'd have been upset. My guy liner's running. My pancake makeup's dripped into my black whatever the fuck you wear when you're emo.
Yeah, we didn't have emos when I was a kid. We had goths.
Yeah. And I had to stand like 10 feet back from the vehicle so I could see the cop because it's a fucking... Crown Vics aren't the tallest of vehicles. And I drive one, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I drive a Grand Marquis, but same difference.
You got the upgrade.
I did, and you know the Grand Marquis seats are the same seats as a cop car. So after 2005, Grand Marquis have stab-proof seats, which isn't really stab-proof. They're like stab-resistant because you can still puncture, but you can't go all the way through.
Okay, good to know.
Female privilege, yeah. I always wanted to see if I could cry my way out of a ticket. I just couldn't do it. Like, I never thought like, oh, I should cry. But like, I think about it like, there's a reason I have a reverse Uno card in my wallet. And next time I get pulled over, that's going to be my go-to. Unfortunately, my get-out-of-jail-free card just wore away in my pocket. One day I pull out this orange card. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look, and it's roughed up on both sides. I'm like, I don't remember what this was. And like 2 months later, I remembered. Like, oh yeah, it's a get-out-of-jail-free card.
I wonder if that's ever worked.
I fucking planned to see if it would.
Yeah, well, you failed.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was like, I got the reverse card. I should have a fucking stack of reverse cards just in case the cop also carries a reverse card. But I figure if I pull a reverse card and that cop pulls a reverse card, I'm probably not getting a ticket just for the story. But if I pull out a second reverse card, I'm getting a ticket for the story. So one reverse card, because you can't top him or he's going to be pissed at you. So anyways, Matt Gates, if he's a pedophile, I will light the bonfire in which we burn him personally.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, but so when the information comes out, because I do not jump to conclusions, pedophile, set him on fire.
Well, I mean, it's such a transparent attempt to get him off his committees. That's all it is.
Well, they also want to hurt him because he's one of the loudest speakers for Trump. And you'll notice that the people getting attacked, not Liz Cheney for being the utter piece of shit and her father of Halliburton fame, when Halliburton is still fucking up the Middle East, Liz Cheney's going to pass because she was anti-Trump. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it upsets me because I bought a mask and I had to wait a month to get this mask. And the mask says, this mask is as useless as Joe Biden. A couple weeks ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene is wearing a mask that says this mask is as useless as Joe Biden. And now I hate that mask. But she's a bit of she's an odd duck, but I'm okay with it. You know, Nancy Pelosi is an odd duck, and I'm not okay with it, but I get to be that way. So her heavily attacked. They've gotten her off her committees, and Matt Gaetz is another one. And they're going for Ted Cruz because they're worried about Ted Cruz. They're also going after DeSantis because DeSantis is doing so much it's not good for them.
They got 60 minutes to run a hit job.
Mm-hmm. But they're going after Cruz and they're going after DeSantis because both of them are leading. Name one Jew. Blumenthal. You're welcome. Also Bernie Sanders. I don't know why we're playing this game, but that's 2 for you. But the COVID restrictions, Ted Cruz was a voice. He didn't do shit, but he was a voice for removing the restrictions. That was Greg Abbott being nice enough to give you back your Constitution. Okay, you knew what you were doing at 17. You were also stupid at 17, so don't give me that shit. I fucked a lot of 17-year-olds last year. No, I didn't. I didn't fuck any 17-year-olds last year. Or when I was 17. Did I mention teenage musician? Magician. But the age of consent in Florida is 18. So that literally is breaking the law. And there's some issues with transporting a minor across state lines, if there is any travel. Barney Frank, also a Jew. Chuck Schumer, also a Jew.
What happened to Barney Frank?
He got in trouble for having somebody in his basement. Do you recall?
Vaguely.
Yeah, wasn't really covered, but it was gay and there was violence. So media wasn't a big fan. So the start of the reporting, sex trafficker and child fucker, Matt Gaetz. Now there's been some investigation. They can tie him to money he sent to a treasurer within the state of Florida, who also gave money to girls who were involved with sugar daddies. As far as I know, they were 18. However, the treasurer fucked a 17-year-old, which is why he's getting charges and probably throwing up anybody he can get to minimize those charges, because he's not stupid and he's a coward. And they don't do well in prison anyway. So now the narrative has changed with Matt Gaetz to barely 18, which means completely legal. However, I am not a fan of a guy who is engaged to be married using his political travel to fuck other adults. But he's not my congressman. Last congressman I liked was Thaddeus McCotter in Michigan. I don't even know who my congressman is here. Greenberg? Pretty sure with quotes. Greenberg? But that's all there, and that's not here. So not my congressman, not my problem. But I'm not defending Gaetz. However, if he did something bad, fry him at the stake. If he didn't, fry the people chasing him at the stake, because it shouldn't have been brought to light with the bullshit that was not available at the time. Yeah, all right. If he's flying around with an 8-year-old with no girlfriend and banging him, I'm fine with that. If he is engaged to a girl and banging people that he brought specifically to bang, then I have an issue. However, this whole trafficking, the sex trafficking thing, is I don't like it. at all.
Well, they overplayed their hand, and all they need to do is put the insinuation out there, and the freaking mouth breathing troglodytes will follow in suit because that's what they were told, and that's the only truth that they'll accept, and anything less is just somebody covering up for him or him having privilege or yada yada yada. The truth doesn't matter to these fools.
Marjorie, what's up with his adopted kid again? He's like nearly 18 and some kind of, is he foreign or colored or what's the situation there? Yeah. My point about the sex trafficking is, what is that charge of sex trafficking is traveling with somebody for the intent of sex, is for, I've taken girls on vacations, and literally the point of that vacation is to have sex with them there. Otherwise, I'd go alone because it's half the price. So what is the actual definition of the sex trafficking stuff? Because I fly to Barbados to have sex in Barbados. I bring my girlfriend because I don't want to be doing it myself. I don't go to Barbados and I don't fly, but just saying, like, if I'm traveling somewhere, there's a pretty good reason I'm traveling is to have sex with my girlfriend there. So is this sex trafficking, which is travel for the purpose of having sex? So what the fuck does that mean?
Well, again, I think you're getting way too involved in something that doesn't fucking matter at all. I mean, let's just
that charge matters.
If that's the charge that gets levied, he's not been put under arrest. He's not been.
No, I'm talking about the charge itself.
Okay.
That I need more information on that charge. Like, is it?
It's a slander.
Does your girlfriend count?
All it is a slander. It's a slander to affect a political end, and that's all that it is. They want him off of his committees at the least. They would like to get him out of Congress, and they would like to see him behind bars for something. But whether or not they can get there doesn't matter, because what they're shooting for is to get him off of his committees. And any excuse is a valid excuse to do that. And you can watch in the next week or so, they're going to put forward that he should be removed from his committees, like Marjorie Taylor Greene was, because they were successful on that flimsy ass shit. And they're going to try it again, because they always, always, always overplay their hand.
Mm-hmm. So he's a 17-year-old Cuban? Do you guys remember the Colombian prostitution scandal that hit the Obama administration?
Yeah, where the Secret Service was down there banging hookers.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That's bullshit on the other side. What happened in that situation was in Colombia, they you work at a factory. Almost everybody works at a factory, and there are girls that work the night shift at the factory. If they can find someone to take them out for the day, instead of going to work, they go out with the guy. And because they don't have the same sexual hookups that we do in America, you thank them for the date with your vagina. And it is your responsibility as the guy who invited the girl out to pay her for her time. Literally, you pay her $42.17 because that's what she would have gotten for going to work that night. It's not a pay to play with the vagina. It's a custom in Colombia to pay for her to not go to work to spend time with you. It's not the paying her to leave, as most prostitution is. It's the paying her because she had to take the time off of work to do the thing. That'd be like calling it prostitution when you provide pizza and beer for your buddies when they help you move. But what happened is one of the executives, not one of the Secret Service agents, but one of the Obama staff members, literally linked it in his head. I had sex with this woman. She's asking for money. This is prostitution. I will not get caught in this. And he ruined it for everybody. And he really did. So now beautiful women in I don't know, Cartagena or whatever, now have to go to work instead of dancing and drinking at a fun night out with a Mexican or with an American stranger. Probably the ones with the thin mustaches, like Raul Julia, probably. Banging someone the same age as his adopted kid, gross. Banging someone a year older than his adopted kid, I'm fine with. My minimum dating age increases every year. I will not be involved with anybody who does not remember where they were at the capstone of my life when the World Trade Centers fell. If you don't know, if you don't have that milestone, I'm not fucking with you. And so currently it's like 27, 28. And every year it's going to go up one. And that's one of the things I ask, like, where were you when the World Trade Center fell? Oh, well, you missed out on a night of adequate sex. Because you have a poor memory at 4 years old. I was going to be so adequate, it would blow your mind. Yeah, but I mean, if you're 24 and you adopt somebody, you can adopt somebody up to 17. It's a few years age difference. Like the guy's in his 30s, but how far into his 30s? I knew it day one because they interviewed Shell Silverstein or Jewenstein or whatever his name was. Oh yeah, that was pretty freaking obvious. Microthermite in the walls of occupied buildings that had the steel beams removed. And jet fuel. That's all there is to say about that. Was it a microthermite? Miniature thermite? Something stupid like that. Like the airplanes were shadows or some just stupid shit. I've seen Loose Change. I didn't see the other one, but I'm way more interested in the Pentagon building than I am either of the Twin Towers.
Well, let's not forget that the day before, the Pentagon announced that they had lost, what, $9 billion or something like that?
13 billion. And the day after, the day after, they announced the lacks of the infrastructure, and how susceptible we were to electromagnetic attack. if Gates isn't gay, I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but he is a creep that sleeps with 18-year-olds, then renting a 7-year-old for a year, or a 17-year-old for a year is a great way to find 17-year-olds that he can groom until their 18th birthday. So that makes him a super predator.
Well, what's the point of being rich if you can't get young poon?
What's the point of young poon if it's young poon?
I'm being facetious.
No, like sex in my 30s was way better than sex in my early 20s.
Yes.
But now it's mostly alone, and there's tears involved. Sometimes as lubricant, sometimes just because I'm ashamed of myself. But who's probably Jewish? I mean, not disagreeing at this point. I just want to know.
What?
Black Magic says probably Jewish. I'm like, who the fuck is Jewish?
I don't know why you guys are hung up on it.
Because they're evil.
I know plenty of cath holes that fit that.
Yeah, that was always my ethno-state argument. I'm like, everyone I hate is white. I live in your ethno-state. I don't give a fuck about Van Jones. I hate Bernice, the Karen that lives next door to me, who calls the police knowing that that's my fat ass crawling through my own front window. Bitch knew it was me, still called the cops because she sucks that badly. That wasn't a black person. That was fucking Bernice. I know it was you, bitch. So your ethnicity doesn't work for me. But being 2% of the population, they shouldn't be involved in as much bullshit as they are. And they are always involved in bullshit at some level. There's church shit that is happening that they're involved in. That's the one thing they shouldn't be involved in. Yeah, the next infrastructure bill is going to be bullshit. Infrastructure is in. Thank you, Sally Toys, my man, and or non-binary, female, whatever you are.
I was gonna say, is the show over? Damn.
No.
we don't half-ass this show. We show up late and we stay late.
Ah, boy, that's what I wanted to hear.
The infrastructure bill is not going to be about infrastructure. Infrastructure it's not a code word. It's just simply, it's the structure that's underneath, which means it's invisible, which means you can pour a fuck ton of money into it and you see no results. Bridges you see, roads you see, those are considered infrastructure. They're technically not. They are, they're interstate, so they belong in the interior. But what you're going to see is huge fucking bills, and it's going to go to the same places this fucking stimulus check went to. Kennedy Center, which literally just takes the money and donates to Democrats. And fucking more of this critical race theory bullshit and all the other bullshit. It's just a way to take wealth from one area and give it to another, which means too much of your taxes is going to the government. If they have money to spend, that is not crucial to maintaining the government. And sending 10 million to fucking Pakistan for gender nonconformity garbage is exactly that.
Where was the place that fix a fucking boat?
What?
Was it in India or something?
Sri Lanka.
The last spending, Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan boat. Yeah.
We spent money on Sri Lankan boats?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
I hate our fucking government. it's this terrible spending that's going to turn me into an ANCAP.
Mm.
And I didn't want to go that far, but god damn it, I really see the positivity of it.
Yeah, taxation is theft. That's what I'm screaming about. Gadsden Flag is extremist in the new playbook, and you will get in trouble for it. Hey, does anybody in the chat, especially, does anybody hear about the 3%ers? I saw an Instagram live from the conservative Barbie, who was talking about the 3%ers and a grifter within the 3%ers, but she was a lot prettier to look at with the sound off. So I didn't really follow the entire thing. Does anybody hear about the 3%ers? Besides the fact that the 3% are in charge of the Capitol Hill riots, was like not in the building and couldn't have gotten to the building if he tried because of injuries related to his disability or discharge from the military, and they don't have a ramp. But that's the only thing I can find about 3%ers. But apparently there's a grifter in the 3%ers, and she's got the 3% tattoo on her hand that she's talking about getting off. And I'm like, good, you should take it off, because it wasn't 3% of the population fighting the British. That's just dumb. That's local taxpayers. Also, shut up, Stephen. Trying to get me fired. Thanks, buddy.
See, if taxes work correctly, you should be taxed locally, and then that should be passed up, not the other way around.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Margie, what do you mean by they were mad you wouldn't play along? Play along with what? The narrative? You wouldn't go on like local news and say something? Come on, give me the scoop.
Yeah. Well, do you know she's 7 days COVID positive?
Yeah, I caught that.
Okay. Are you like out driving around or something?
Who,
Are you
me?
No, I was talking to Margie.
Oh, Margie.
Yeah, in Florida, not 10-day quarantining yourself? What the?
I thought you was in Utah, Mormon.
Well, I'm saying like contract chasing. That's also so CDC along with DOD, because those two just go hand in hand, have come up with a COVID tracker that goes subdermally into your skin, but it doesn't track you, which is the headline, but the actual article is about tracking you, because it wants to have everybody get this chip so that when you highlight somebody that had COVID, it can contact trace them back throughout their everything. Which literally means not only do they track you, it keeps a history of tracking you. And it lights up everybody you're within whatever 6 to 10 feet of for, I don't know, 10 minutes or whatever the fucking scenario is at this point, to give a path of contact tracing, really. So the headline of the article is COVID implant will not track you. The entirety of the article, how it'll track you.
Well, and they're using COVID as a reason to do it. It's not about COVID.
It was never about COVID.
Exactly. They just want to be able to police your movements, know where you've been, who you've been around at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't surprise me if this was developed deep in the bowels of the Patriot Act.
Mm-hmm. You mean the Patriot Act that expired under Trump?
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Just
Patriot
because
Act
it
expired.
just because it expires doesn't mean it's not still going on.
Oh.
Rebranding, renaming them, like the AFT.
Fucking AFT.
Come on, man.
I said it earlier, and I was worried I was going to screw it up because I would so naturally say ATF, even though it's not the ATF anymore. It's the ATFE. They added explosives.
Well, they're just slowly pushing tobacco down the bottom because nobody polices tobacco anymore.
Mm-hmm. But like, my dream job would be a tester for the ATF. Like, you get like, what? Free alcohol, tobacco, and firearms? Woohoo!
I'm surprised A is still in front.
Yeah.
I guess they can't put firearms first because then it would be firearms, alcohol, and tobacco, which would make it fat.
We almost, when I was a bounty
but
hunter.
they added the E. It could be fate. It could be fate.
Well, that's what I used to call it. I used to call it B-Fate. But when I was a bounty hunter, they wanted to change the name.
Call it BEFAT.
BFAT, yeah.
BFAT.
When I was a bounty hunter, they wanted to change from bail enforcement to fugitive apprehension, and we were going to be a fugitive apprehension team. And I was like, "That's cool," until I saw the jackets that had fat on the back of them, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And they're like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Because you're ordering it in a triple extra large." He said, no, I'm not going to have that. Thank you. How about no, leave it the way it is because it's just going to cost extra. And they're like, well, no. All right, so we'll make it the Fugitive Recovery and Apprehension Team. And I'm like, the only way that could be worse if you named it the Fugitive Apprehension and Recovery Team. Frat is barely better than fat, but I'll take fart over either of those. Leave it the way it is, or don't give us jackets. But I'm not wearing a hat either. Like, you fucking people.
Oh, I kind of want a fat hat.
It's a big yellow. It's a black hat with big yellow letters with white outline and a fat.
I would fully rock a fat hat.
Fucking people. You fucking people. All right. We No, you are a fart. You don't work for fart. You're a member of the Fugitive Apprehension and Recovery Team. You don't work for the Fugitive Apprehension and Recovery Team. So
you are fart. You are the fart. Be the fart.
Yeah. Just marching up the stairs. I am fat. I am fat. I am fat. I can do this. I am fat.
Oh yes, that needs to be a thing.
Open the door. Fat's here. No.
All right, fat. Come on, fat.
When they're looking at through the peephole, yeah. Can you please open up? I'm fat. Yes, sir. We can see that. But why are you here? Well, I'm fat.
No, I learned my lesson about standing in front of people's. Yeah, the goddamn. Yeah, I'm not having any of this shit. This is all bullshit, and I'm not gonna do it. You can't make me. Neener. Also, all right. So that's enough for today's show. I will, however, remind everybody, out of all the news broadcasters and all the bullshit they spew, historically, Alex Jones has been right more than any other. out there.
Might not be as accurate, but he's more
right. He's pretty accurate too. Like, but you have to listen to what he says versus and who he's talking to. If he's talking to somebody else, you don't listen to it. If he's talking to you, the viewer, it's pretty damn accurate. And you can tell that because if you watch Alex Jones and you watch the coverage of Alex Jones, they're two separate things. They won't show you clips and prove that he lied. They'll show you something, and then they'll tell you what he said. I watched Rachel Maddow and Megyn Kelly say that Alex Jones says he got Jade 15 information from a black hat hacker he employed to break into government servers to get this information. When I watched the episode of Alex Jones that day, and he said he literally named the government site that they have to dump non-classified information onto, and their hopes is that they bury you in so much shit that you don't read any of it. So, yeah. If you're doing something that they have to lie about, there's a pretty good chance you're right on the money.
Mm-hmm.
But Jade Helm was a big nothing burger. But it did go off the way he said it would. However, probably everybody involved in Jade Helm is now no longer in the military, minus the upper echelon, because they're all domestic terrorists and white. So they kicked them out.
All right, are we done here?
Yeah, we're no. You wanna Dr. Nick it up in this bitch?
Yeah. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Go home. Or whatever.
Well, you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful